I'm a motion designer turned developer. Well, I'm still a motion designer, but I always wanted to learn how to code, and I kind of knew how to code back then, but now I want to seriously learn how to code. And I actually think everybody should learn how to code because I think in this world where everyone's using computers and technology, you'd be surprised how helpful it is to be able to build yourself a quick program that does exactly what you need it to do. Even though I mainly am learning front end design, since especially coming from a graphic design background, that seemed like the most logical path for me. But I did take a side track and I started doing Python. And I really, really like Python. It's just super easy to use. I'm learning JavaScript right now and it's just not the same. Like, JavaScript, it's not as clean or just easy to understand, at least to me. So that's why you see here I'm working in Python. I started learning Python through there's this free web course by I forget his name, but I'll leave the link in the description. I think it's Dr. Chuck, and it's called Python for Everybody, and it's super easy and well thought of course. The man is super knowledgeable on the subject and it's free. So that's where I started learning Python to begin with. And then I also read the book on how to automate your life or automating your life using Python. Again, I'll have to link that below. I believe the author's name is Al. That book is awesome because like I had mentioned, you can literally make any quick program or long program, whatever you need to make your life easier. It's quite literally your own virtual assistant. And I just think everybody should learn a little bit on how to code. And I think Python's a great one to be able to do things like that. I've already started automating my life using Python, which I totally want to share on this channel too, as I kind of go ahead and kind of show you guys just how many things you really can use Python for. And you don't by any means need to be a coding god to be able to make these simple programs that like kind of just help you like clean up your file organizer or run through your email and put certain emails like corporate emails into particular folders, which that one I'm definitely gonna try to do that one very soon because my email mailbox is a mess. But yeah, it can really help you keep your internet life very organized, and you can, with the power of GitHub, like I didn't even know how many amazing free open source things are on GitHub. And by learning just a little bit of how to code, you can just jump in there, borrow people's code, fix it to your liking, and obviously like don't go trying to make money off of these type of things. Like people work really hard on these things, but that doesn't mean you can't make your own, take somebody's code, add your own little whatever you need it for specifically, and make it work for you. looking at here today is my take on Hangman. Like, as I was kind of like on YouTube looking around, trying to figure out like kind of things I can start to code without knowing a whole ton of information, but like I just gotten out of the whole course and I wanted to use my skills to build something, but nothing too crazy. I saw that a lot of people try to tackle Hangman, and I haven't actually watched any of their videos. I just wanted to be able to try to do it on my own and see kind of like what happens. And later on, I figured I can just check out other people's solutions and then kind of grow from there. Like maybe they solved it in like a cleaner way, or like a less processed way than I did. Like I code very much like an instruction manual. I know I've seen some people who code absolutely beautifully, and I'm just not there yet. It's very abstract for me. But currently the way I see it is that working code is working code. And like it doesn't have to be the most beautiful code for it to solve the problem. I do appreciate that you're less likely to have bugs when you make much cleaner code, but I just don't care right now. I'm just trying to figure out what all these different programs, how they like to parse and their syntax and all that stuff. So baby steps. In this video, you'll see me go back and forth between ChatGPT and VS Code, and look, I don't have a single problem with using AI. I think AI is awesome. I think AI, obviously, it's here to stay. I could make a whole YouTube video on why I think you should use AI. I think everybody should use AI. I mean, obviously there's the bigger issue of data and what are these corporations doing with our information, but I'm sure there's a happy medium there. Yeah, AI is not going away, so I'm okay using AI. I personally, like, I know myself, I want to learn how to do this, so I don't need, like, if it's gonna save me time by just asking AI, how can I go about solving this particular kind of logic, then I'm gonna do it. And I'm gonna learn from it. I like to save notes for myself, like in the code that I can actually go back into, that kind of explain to myself, oh yeah, by the way, this is why this code particularly works. And the next time that I come across that logic, I've learned it. So I am definitely pro AI. The biggest tip I can say for anybody who's just trying to jump in and learn how to code and use Python, I like to write down exactly what I want it to do in English on paper, like exactly the process that I'm trying to get to happen, and explain in English using like English words how would I solve it if I was going to explain it to another human being in English. And then now that I can figure out all the logic part when I write it down, like I figured out all the logic and everything behind it, it's a lot easier for me to like hop onto the computer and translate it into Python, the language that the computer can understand. So definitely super helpful. To make this like my version of Hangman have a little twist to it, I did Survivor, and I had actually watched a few seasons of Survivor before. Now, currently, we had just completed, I believe it's season 46. And that one was a really fun season, all the way up until like the very, very end when it was pretty. If you haven't seen it yet, I'm not gonna spoil it, but it gets pretty obvious who's gonna win. I guess that's a small spoiler, but like when you get there, like this person actually does win. So, but yeah, I really enjoyed it, and you know I like to make a little bit of a twist on these programs just to make it a little more fun for me, a little different. Some of my favorite characters, my favorite people from Survivor. I've watched a few seasons. Basically, I've watched any season with Suri in it. Yeah, because I'm a huge Big Brother fan. But Suri seasons are really, really fun to watch. So yeah, I added those words in there for fun, and we're wrapping up here on I'm getting really close to finishing up my code here. I know one of the biggest pain points for me was figuring out these, like, how to add spaces. Like, if I wanted to make it like a two words, like if I wanted to make it like Suri space fields, I couldn't. I just gave up. Like, I couldn't figure out how to get that space in there. And when I go back and watch other people's solutions, I'm hoping that will be more clear to me. But for the most part, I'm very satisfied with what I built. I learned a lot about game logic, and Python's always humbling me. I learned a lot. I even learned about the enumerate function, which I find can be super, super, super useful. And in other languages, enumerate is not as... Something like this can't be written as easily in other languages. So again, I love Python. Please go learn Python if you're thinking about learning a language that actually involves like logic and not like HTML or CSS, like a language that actually has memory and has like object awareness. Yeah, I'm very happy with what I made here. And here is my final code right here. It does all the things I want, and if it does all the things I want, I consider that success. Definitely like follow me on GitHub, Asher4 Designs. You'll see all the links and all the things down in the description. So, and if you want to see me continue to do stuff, Asher does stuff, subscribe to this channel. I like to code, I like to do art, I do motion design. I'm trying to learn 2D animation. Oh my goodness. But I just do a bunch of different things. I really want to talk about capitalism, which is kind of random, but you know, it's my channel. Asher does stuff. So thanks for watching.